Hello and welcome. I'm Linda Liu with Corporate Calm Yoga. So happy to have you here with me today. Today's topic is for anybody who has joint pain in your shoulders, in your knees, in your elbows, feet, ankles are another great place that our joints are really hurting us. So that's what we're going to focus on today. If you have pain in those areas, I'm going to show you how to feel better in your body. So stiffness, swelling of joints, all those kinds of things. This is going to help it. So I invite you to close your eyes, sit cross-legged on the floor, or feel free to lay down if that makes you feel more comfortable. But we're going to come into the practice. I invite you to put your hands together in front of you in what's called prayer pose. Just feeling your fingers as they connect together. Again, closing your eyes. Focusing inward, letting all of those thoughts, those things you have to do, let those all float away. This time is for you to be in your body, feeling better in the body that you're given. Now focus in for a moment on the breath. Just notice the breath as it comes in and out of the body. Elongating your inhale and elongating your exhale. As you continue to focus on your breath, just be aware that this is the only place that you need to be right now. Spending this time with yourself is the best place that you could be, the most productive use of your time. You bring your hands just a little bit closer to your face. I invite you on your exhale just to try to feel your exhale on your hands in front of you, really focusing more on the exhale. The exhale helps our body relax, go into more of the rest and relaxed state, just healing for our body and helpful. And just know that your mind is a powerful tool that can heal your body. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out here. I invite you now to bring your feet out in front of you. Just adjust your hips so that you're sitting directly on your hip bones. This is called staff pose, Dandasana. So we're kind of a 90-degree angle here. Our hips are directly over our torso. Our feet are directly in front of us. We have our feet flat, so our feet are flexed here. And we're really sitting up in our hips so that we feel the curve in our lower back, not slumped over in Slanchasana, but we're straight up. Now I invite you to take your hands directly out in front of you and just circle those wrists for a moment. But we're still feeling an engagement in our feet because we have our toes flexed. Just feeling how that feels in the wrist. And then go the opposite way with our hands. Either have your hands all the way out or in a little fist, either one is fine. And then kind of do a little stop sign here and then bend your wrist down. We spend a lot of times on computers, so this part of our body can have a lot of stress and issues with this joint right here, our wrist joint. Okay, now again, sitting really high up in your hips, good posture here. I want you to think about rolling those ankles. You can see it from my camera angle here, but we're rolling our ankles, rolling our feet around in a little circle, and then roll them again in the opposite way. We're really getting the blood flowing here to our joints. This helps lubricate our joints. Our joints have something called synovial fluid in them. So gentle movement like this really helps kind of revive up that synovial fluid that's running through those joints. Okay, now I invite you to grab the 2 things you're going to need for today. Sorry, I meant to say this earlier, but was to grab a strap and possibly a block, but for sure a strap. So as soon as you get your strap, come and join me and laying down on the ground. So lay all the way flat on the ground. And first take that right foot and bring it straight up into the air and grab that strap and put it around the arch of that foot. And just enjoy kind of playing with your hamstrings here. You should feel a party in the hamstrings kind of right away for me. As soon as I start bringing that foot in a little bit further, but you'll also feel it in this other hip flexor over here as we're keeping this left hip straight down, but this right foot straight up. Enjoy your breath here. Feeling the nice stretch in both of those. Now take both straps and put them in the right hand, and then bring that right foot over towards the right. Really a nice hip opener here. We're keeping both of our shoulders on the ground. Our left foot is on the ground as well. That right hip is opening. And do it to wherever feels comfortable to you. Don't go further than it. When it starts to hurt, that is, you're way past the point of no return there. So go back to where it feels like a nice stretch, but no hurt. Okay, and as you breathe in, bring that right leg back up to center. Put both of the straps into your left hand, kind of even out, bring that right hand over to be on the ground, and then bring that right leg over towards the left. So we're keeping the left hip directly on the ground. Really our whole gluteal muscles are still on the ground on the left side. Both of our shoulders are on the ground here as we twist over towards the left. You should feel it all down, that whole hamstring on the left side, and really on the whole side of even into that IT band. You should feel it as well. As we bring that leg back up, that right leg back up, take the strap off, just bring that leg long, kind of shake it up just for a minute. Feel that nice stretch that we did in that hip. Really when we open up our hips like this, we're really helping that hip joint. Now take the left foot, put the strap around the arch of that left foot, and then with both hands outstretched, we'll bring that leg just a little bit closer towards our head. Wherever you feel your hamstrings starting to engage, that's enough. You don't want it to hurt. Our body will gently release. As we gently release our body, we're going to release those muscles. But when we really tug and pull on those muscles, that's how we can hurt that muscle and overstrain that muscle, which we've all done before. Believe me, I've done it a million times. Okay, now bring both straps into the left hand and open up that hip. As you feel a nice stretch in those inner groin muscles. But we're also keeping that right hip on the ground, that right butt cheek on the ground, and both shoulders on the ground as well. When you take a deep breath in, and especially as you breathe out, you can really, you're releasing your muscles each time that you breathe out. And sometimes you can come a little bit closer towards the ground with each exhale. So bring that left foot back up, kind of even it out with both hands on the strap. Now take the strap into your right hand, and then put that left arm straight out and bring that left leg over towards the right. Ooh, and then all of a sudden you should feel that IT band and the whole hamstring really warm up. But this is a great hip opener. This is a great way to really lubricate that hip joint and make our hips feel a ton better. Our hips hold a lot of the energy for our whole body. One more breath in here as we bring that leg back up. Take the strap off and just stretch that leg out just for a little bit here. And do a little circle with those legs. We're going to get up and sit in what's called lightning bolt. So if you want to just come to your knees first And then bring those hips back to sit right on your heels. If this is a no-go for you, this is where a block comes in handy. You can sit on the block right here, and either one block or two blocks, whatever it is, can make you feel much more comfortable. But if you'd like to go directly on the floor with no block, that's fine as well, whatever feels comfortable for you. This is a great way just to stretch out this whole front part of your knee. A lot of times we think that we need a knee replacement or we have all kinds of knee problems. Sometimes it's stretching out some of these ligaments, and the fascia in the front part of our knees can really help our knees work better. So at least for me, that has really been a lifesaver. Now at the same time, so wherever it feels comfortable for you and you can sit for a while. So if you're on the ground right now and you're already dying, then maybe grab a block, because a block will give you a little bit of something to sit on and it won't make it hurt so bad, because we're going to be here for just a minute. So take your strap again, and I'd like you to take the strap into your right hand and put it directly above your head. And then with this left hand, put it straight out and then bend that elbow and bend it backwards towards your back. I'm going to turn around just so you can see what this looks like from the back. So we're right here. So if this is enough for you, that's great. Or you can try to bring that top hand a little bit closer to that bottom hand. And that's what the strap is for, to bring these two hands as close together. But if you feel like you don't need a strap and you feel like you can easily grab your hands together, then that's fine too. So this right elbow is coming straight up into the air, and you're trying to bring that left elbow as far down as you can as well. Let's take a few deep breaths in here. This is a great one for the shoulder. So we're hitting our right and our left shoulder at the same time in different ways in this pose. Just take one more deep breath in here. And then release. I'm going to come back around to the front so you can see me. Well, this time we're going to take the strap in our left hand, bring it directly above our head. And then with that right hand, we're going to bring it straight up to the side, bend that elbow, bring it underneath, and then just kind of bring your arms. If you want to try to get your hands together, you know, for me, especially on this side, I have to really kind of crank my left hand under before I can reach them together. But do whatever works for you in your body. But this is just a great way to open up the chest as well as those shoulders. Really working on that joint to relieve some of the issues and problems we have with our shoulders, but really just getting more movement, getting more synovial fluid into these joints so that they can move better for us. Whether it's playing tennis or swinging a golf club or whatever it is that you like to do with the rest of your free time, or cooking, or whatever it is that you like to do. When we have full use of our joints, we can do all of those things that we'd like to do in our lives so much better. Okay, so I invite you to just shake that all out, shake those arms out a little bit, take our block, get it out from underneath of us. We're going to come into our first downward dog here. So start just in hands and knees. Bring those hands just a little bit further in front of our body. Take those toes and point them towards the ground, and then bring up our hips into our first downward dog. Bring our head in between both of our arms, trying to come just a little bit closer towards our legs here, and trying to get our heels just a little bit closer towards the ground. So remember that down dog is not a static pose. We are trying with one foot to the ground and then the other foot to the ground, whatever feels good to stretch out today. Sometimes you want to come more into the lower back, which for that we want to bend those knees more, and then we can feel it a little bit more in the lower back. Or if you want to feel more of a party in the hamstrings, then straighten those legs and try to bring those heels a little bit closer towards the ground. Just know there's no one right way to do downward dog. It's a great stretch for the whole body. Okay, so now bring one leg to the front and then the other leg to the front. Come into halfway lift. Breathe out as you come into forward fold, and then breathe in as you come all the way up into Tadasana. So now we're going to do a little bit of a flow that will warm up some of our joints as well. So we're going to first come all the way down into Uttanasana, forward fold. I invite you to take that right foot and bring it straight back as we come into a high lunge here. Take a moment just to feel this. Feel the whole fascia of the whole front part of this thigh, as well as both inner groins really stretching here. And as well, we're using our ankles, our arms to support us. You might want to pop that back foot just a little bit closer in as we come up into crescent lunge and bend that front leg into warrior. We're going to come over into extended side angle. So our left arm is going to rest gently on our left thigh, and our right arm is going to go straight over. So it's a straight line all the way from our hand down to our right foot. You should feel just a nice stretch in this whole side body here. Opening up this thigh as well, that left thigh. Now we're going to come back into our high lunge, bring that foot back into plank. Let's spend just a second here in plank, feeling our abdomen muscles really engaging here. If this is too much for you, always feel free to come down into bringing our knees on the ground too. That makes it a little bit easier. And then as we bring those elbows in towards our body, come down into Chaturanga, and then bring our body up into either Cobra, which is right here, just a slight back bend, or if you want to come up into Downward Dog, we just lift our body off of the ground with our toes on the ground and the front part of our feet on the ground. Now come back into Downward Dog. Take just 1 or 2 breaths here. As we pop the right foot forward and the left foot forward, as we come into halfway lift, come down into forward fold, and then breathe up. Breathe in as you come all the way up into Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's do that again on the other side. Really warm up the body. Okay, so we'll do it nice and slow again on the other side, and then we'll do it one more time again, a little bit quicker. So bring all the energy into the body as we come down into forward fold, Uttanasana. Put those hands on the ground as this time we bring our left foot straight back. And we come into high lunge here. Take a moment just to feel the nice stretch in the body. So many parts of our body are getting opened up and stretched out. Stretching out the body is so healthy for not only for our body, but for our minds as well. As we pop that back leg a little closer to the body so that we can bring ourselves up into warrior, bending that front knee and keeping the back leg long, taking the right arm and putting it over the right leg, right thigh, and then bringing that left arm straight overhead, trying to form a nice line here, just trying to lengthen as much as you can, all the way down from your toes, all the way up into your fingertips. One nice long linear line. This is fun, right? Yoga's fun. We're having a good time here. All right, come on down into high lunge, and then bring both of those feet back together as we come into plank pose. Again, feel free to put those knees down if you'd like. Now bring those elbows in towards the body. We're coming down into Chaturanga, and then to either Cobra or Up Dog. So those feet are on the ground. Point those toes back into Downward Dog. Always nice to take 1 or 2 deep breaths here. Bring the right foot up and the left foot up. Breathe up as you come into halfway lift. Breathe out as you come into forward fold. and then all the way up. Bring all that energy into the body. Who's ready for another time? Let's do that again. We're already all warmed up, so let's do that one more time on each side. So as we come down into forward fold, one breath. Breathe in as you come into halfway lift. Bring that right foot straight back into high lunge. If you'd like, bring that back foot a little bit closer as we come up into warrior and directly over into that nice stretch on our side here. Extended side angle. Breathe out as you come back into lunge. Bring that foot back into plank pose. Come down into chaturanga. Come up as you breathe in into up dog. Point those toes, come back into downward facing dog. One or two nice breaths here. Take that right foot straight up, left foot straight up, into halfway lift. Breathe out as you come into forward fold, and all the way up. This time we're gonna come straight down into forward fold again. Bringing our left foot back this time. Come into high lunge. Then bring your body up into warrior two, over into extended side angle. Their left arm directly out, nice linear line. Come back down into high lunge. Hop that foot back, come into plank pose. Bring those elbows in as you come down into chaturanga. Up dog, back to downward facing dog. Nice thing about chaturanga too, it helps the wrist, helps the arms, helps the legs. So when we do these flows like this, there are a lot of great things that it does. Okay, so bring your right foot and your left foot forward. Come up into mountain pose. Just kind of rearrange yourself just for a second. Feel how that felt in your joints, and your shoulders, and your legs. We really kind of warmed up all of the body there. So however you'd like, bring yourself down to the ground. I'm gonna go down in Malasana, which I kind of put my hands together. Bring your butt kind of straight back, and then kind of down into a little yogi squat here. So you bring your bottom on the ground. Now we're gonna come into bridge pose. Bridge is great, not only for the knee joint right here, but really for your entire spine as well. So lay flat down on the ground, bringing those feet a little bit close to the bottom, as close as feels comfortable in your body. So some people like them a little further away, wherever feels good for you. Both hands will come directly underneath your bottom. Now, then clasp those hands together, and then try to inch those shoulders in a little bit more towards each other. So you have a nice little stand to kind of come up on. And then whenever you feel comfortable, just try to bring that bottom a little bit closer towards the ceiling. You should feel a great little party all of a sudden in the front of those knees, as well as through the whole lower spine, mid spine, and really, the more you can really get those shoulders almost off the ground, you can really feel it in the upper spine as well. A little breaths here, come all the way down. Just kind of step for a second, a little walk to the left and then to the right. Just a little counter stretch. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So lay on back down. Bring those feet a little bit close to the bottom. Bring those hands directly underneath. Clasp those hands together. Bring those shoulders, inching them in towards each other. And then bring those hips. Trying to get them just as far away from the ground as possible. You can also play with kind of bringing your knees a little bit closer and further apart. You can really feel that in the knees. So wherever feels comfortable for you but not painful. bring that whole bottom towards the ground. And then I invite you to sit back up. We're actually gonna come to hands and knees again. So bring those knees on the ground. I'm gonna show this to you from the side so you can kind of see. We're gonna point our feet, toes to the ground in the back here. This seems like it would be no big deal until you kind of come and sit back on that bottom. Then you can really feel a party in those toes. This is called broken toe pose here. So yeah, once you get into it, this is one of the really hard poses for me, but we're gonna do a little opposite pose at the same time. So take both of those shoulders, putting them together just like they were when we were in bridge pose, and bring them a little bit closer together, trying to bring those hands a little bit closer towards the ground. All right, I gotta take a break from that for just a second. We're gonna try that one more time. But that's an intense pose, at least for me. Really stretching out that foot and those toes and those ankles can be something we don't do a whole lot of. Let's try it one more time, getting back onto those toes just for a second. Bring those toes a little bit closer towards one another. And the toes on the ground, and bring your bottom closer towards our hips. Again, we can bring our hands together behind us. Just take 1 or 2 deep breaths here. And now it is the best part of the day. Now is the best time of yoga. Now it's Shavasana. So I invite you to lay down on your mat, get as comfortable in your body as you possibly can. Shavasana is just a time to recharge, reinvigorate your body. Just take a little scan of your entire body here as you lay down flat on the ground. Just focusing in on your breath, focusing in on how your body feels, the different changes that we've made over the last just few minutes here to make our bodies feel better, our joints feel better. I have a little saying, this is something I found in a Harvard University study. And it says, relaxation, meditation, positive thinking, and other mind-body techniques can help reduce your need for pain medicine. So I think we all tend to just, grab the Advil or grab the Excedrin or whatever our little choice is to make our bodies feel better. But a lot of times just by stretching out our body, and especially getting a little blood flowing to our head, we can reduce the need for not only those types of medications, but other types as well. So this little bit of time that you spend for yourself is so valuable to your body. All right, I invite you to sit back up into easy pose, Sukhasana. And put our hands together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just remember that really your mind is the strongest muscle in your body. So you can make our bodies feel better by some of these things that we can do in yoga. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.